We're live, Madam Chair.
All right, good morning, everybody. Officially calling the meeting to order and welcoming you to our Board of Governors quarterly meeting. It's really good to see everybody here today and on Zoom. Let me remind our governors, our Board of Governors members who are on Zoom to please turn on your mic so that we can do a roll call. And Toya, could you please take the roll?
Yes, Madam Chair. Governor Robert Bogle, Representative Tim Briggs, Governor Quentin Bullock,
Present.
Governor Richard Caruso,
Present.
Senator Linda Culver or designee, Governor Brandon Dance,
Present.
Governor William Gindelsberger,
Present.
Governor Abigail Hancox,
Present.
Senator Art Hayward or designee, Secretary Akbar Hossein or designee, Vice Chair David Mazer,
Present.
Governor Marian Moskowitz, Governor Mark Handy Fanor,
Present.
Representative Brad Roy,
Here.
Secretary of Education Carrie Rowe or designee,
Present.
Chair Cynthia Shapira,
Here.
Governor Ali Sina Sharifi,
Present.
Vice Chair Samuel Smith,
Here.
Governor Robert Trainum,
Present.
Secretary Neil Weaver,
Here.
Dr. Jamie Phillips, our faculty liaison.
Here.
This completes the roll call. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. I invite you to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all. All right, so as we gather now in April, in this incredible weather that seems to have jumped right into the middle of summer, I'm very conscious about where we are in the school year, and we're approaching the end of yet another academic year. And at my age, it's truly remarkable how quickly the time goes by. So for all of our students nearing graduation, stay the course. You're almost there. The finish line is in sight. Do great on your finals and go on to your next great thing. To our faculty and our staff supporting them along the way, we offer, as always, our most sincere thanks for everything that you do to help our students succeed. These students are gaining the skills and perspectives and attributes needed to contribute meaningfully throughout their lives, to their own families, their communities, and to the Commonwealth. They're preparing for successful careers, and they will be leaders in all the things that we do in Pennsylvania, in our nation, and we need you. And to ensure that all Pennsylvanians have access to the opportunities that our PASHA universities have to offer, we seek the funding from the General Assembly that keeps our universities within reach. As you know, we've requested a 5% increase in our allocation from the Commonwealth this year, and if granted, we will be able to keep our tuition flat. For everyone here, you'll find a little pocket card at your seat with key details about our request, and we urge you to advocate for that. Please carry it with you wherever you go. Remind everybody, especially our elected leaders, about the value in investing in PASHE. So I know that the Chancellor, our presidents, our unions, our trustees, and others are actively engaging with legislators to advocate for this support. And we thank you for that. We remind you once again, PASHE universities are the state universities of Pennsylvania. They are owned by the Commonwealth. Most of our students come from here. Most will stay after graduation. And so it is very, very true that an investment in our students and our universities is an investment in Pennsylvania and an investment in our efforts as a Commonwealth to be the most competitive state economically in the country with the most skilled workforce. So a little later this morning, we're going to be able to meet an incredible example of how that investment has paid off with regard to one student as we honor this year's Ali Zade Award winner. Choosing the top academic performer from among the more than 80,000 PASHE students is no small task, but it truly is a highlight of our year, and we all look forward to celebrating that today. But before we do that, we're going to hear from our other stakeholders. And first, I am going to ask our statewide union leaders who wish to offer remarks. And I think I saw Dr. Mash, so I call on you, Dr. Mash.
So, good morning. Thank you, as always, for the opportunity to speak to you. After yesterday, I think there's a lot to talk about. I trust that with some of the issues that came up yesterday, there'll be an opportunity for further discussion, as the chair said that there would be, and that if there is action that's taken, that a lot of that action happens in the open meeting and debate happens in the open meeting so that there is a full and fair discussion of it. I'm not going to talk about those issues or about the budget, which I do have a lot to say about too, but I wanted, because we have unfinished business. Over the last several meetings, you've heard from faculty with disabilities who have come here. You've heard from some of our leaders about that. And I want to turn over the remainder of our time to Jess Hughes, who's a professor at Millersville University and is the chair of our Disability Rights Committee, who has prepared a statement, a call to action that has been endorsed by all of ABSCOF. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So I was at the last board meeting, and I spoke on behalf of myself and used my 3 minutes of public comment to talk about the work the state system needs to do to bring all campuses into ADA compliance. I'm proud today to speak on behalf of ABSCOF and PASHE faculty with disabilities. The ABSCOF Disability Rights Committee was convened shortly after a coalition of faculty spoke out in the October 2024 board meeting about the ways in which the state system has failed to uphold its commitments to accessibility and inclusion. The document that I'm presenting today demonstrates that this is still true. PASHE is not upholding its own stated commitments to, quote, cultivate diverse, equitable, and inclusive environments that allow all members of the state system community to thrive, end quote. Nor is the state system's work currently, quote, grounded in, built upon, and elevated in the promising initiatives and thought leadership already occurring across universities. Not only is PASHE not upholding its inclusive mission, the state system has been in consistent and pervasive violation of civil rights law since the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. The ADA is a bare minimum. The civil rights law establishes the floor for disability rights. More than 3 decades since it passed, PASHE still has not met this threshold. I'm here today presenting a call for action. Electronic copies will be distributed via email. There are hard copies floating around. In this call for action, we are urging PASHE to make more decisive moves to establish ADA compliance and eliminate disability discrimination across the state system. Before I go on, let me reiterate that I'm talking about civil rights for people with disabilities who are estimated to be between 20 to 25% of the human population. But these civil rights benefit everyone, thanks to a phenomenon known in the disability community as the curb cut effect. Curb cuts are, of course, the small inclines that connect the sidewalk to the street at a corner. They originally installed to enable wheelchair users to get around, but once they were everywhere, we discovered they made things better for everyone. They make corners more accessible for people who use mobility aids, but also for children, for people who are tired or injured or inebriated, people pushing shopping carts or strollers or dragging luggage. They help all of us avoid falling off the sidewalk when we're at the street corner. So this is the curb cut effect. Changes implemented to make things more accessible for people with disabilities increase access for all. Similarly, I hope to convince you today that following the recommendations outlined in our call for action will be good for everyone in PASHE, not just for people with disabilities. In the 15 months since the APSCF Disability Rights Committee was formed, we have worked to document disabled faculty members' experiences and the disconnects between policies that look good on paper and practices on campus that create barriers for community members with disabilities. The call for action I'm presenting today is a synthesis of this work, and I'd like to thank everyone in the Disability Rights Committee, APSCF leadership, and our APSCF legal team for their help putting it all together. As you'll see, it's a lot. It's 16 pages of ADA noncompliance issues, imperatives for action, and information about relevant disability law. I hope that you find it informative and eye-opening, and that you leverage the thought leadership represented in this document to address the problems that it describes. Since I don't have time to discuss the whole thing, in my remaining time, I'll just spotlight 5 ways in which HR policies have undermined PASHE's stated mission, specifically through 1, so-called full-time, full-duty work requirements, 2, denials of remote teaching accommodations, 3, onerous accommodation recertification requirements, 4, denials of appeals in faculty accommodations cases, and 5, misrepresentation of faculty rights under disability law. Changing HR policies and strengthening training for HR employees would not only address disability discrimination, it would reduce tedious and expensive bureaucracy, save our HR colleagues time better spent elsewhere, and help to reestablish trust between faculty, staff, and administration. These changes would also protect PASHE from lawsuits. To start with the first HR issue I mentioned, a full-time, full-duty requirement has been referenced by HR and administrators across several campuses in a variety of cases to require faculty with disabilities to submit physician verifications at the end of a leave period saying that their disabilities are all gone and they're back to 100%. But of course, that's not how disabilities work. They're lifelong conditions. The full-time, full-duty policy has also been used repeatedly in denying remote accommodations for individuals with chronic health conditions and to compel in-person teaching, research, and service. The policy has also been cited by administration to justify refusing to compensate a faculty member for program coordinator work that they'd already completed unless they submitted a doctor's note saying they could go back to full-time, full-duty work. To be clear, when I say cited, I mean that it's been referenced in emails and conversations, but never presented in full in writing, though we've requested that. A federal court has now twice held that the blanket implementation of a full-time, full-duty requirement violates the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disabilities Act. In Oros versus Kutztown, the judge explicitly stated, quote, "The university's policy of requiring the faculty member to return to work with no restrictions amounts to essentially a 100% healed policy that is a per se violation of the Rehabilitation Act," end quote. The full-time, full-duty policy has also been referenced when PASHE universities have denied reasonable accommodations based upon an erroneous interpretation of the essential functions of faculty. Requests for remote work as an accommodation have been routinely denied based on a mistaken premise that in-person instruction is an essential function, or that reassigning remote teaching to accommodate disabled faculty is unreasonable. But these are unlawful reasons to deny accommodation. Recently, the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court affirmed an arbitrator's award after Penn West University denied remote instruction to a chronically disabled faculty member. In that case, the Commonwealth Court upheld the award, stating, quote, "The claim that face-to-face instruction was an essential job function was unproven, and a full-time online assignment, while perhaps inconvenient, would not have posed an undue hardship. The university's refusal to grant the grievance requested accommodation was, therefore, violative of the CBA." Moving on to onerous accommodation recertification requirements, here I'm referring to university policies requiring faculty to recertify their need for disability accommodations every 6 months. I mentioned this issue briefly in my last visit, and I'd like to elaborate a little bit more now. Certification of a disability is required as part of the initial interactive process by which employees access accommodations. Through this process, employers gain an understanding of the employee's limitations to determine reasonable accommodations. To establish this understanding, disabled employees must spend a significant amount of time, effort, stress, and money visiting doctors and gathering paperwork. Once an individual's disability is clearly established and understood, the need to recertify them is unnecessary. Again, because disability is, by definition, chronic. It's not going to go away. Unless something else changes, for example, the accommodation is no longer effective, poses an undue burden, or there's a significant change in limitations, there's no need to revisit the interactive process. Yet PASHE HR departments routinely demand paperwork to recertify disability status every 6 months. Some universities have imposed recertification requirements under the threat of job loss. Others threaten the rescission of accommodation unless the faculty member recertifies. Such recertification policies are not only unnecessary and unlawful, they're disabling. The repeated demand for duplicate documentation and reapplication to access accommodations costs our universities significant time, effort, and stress, not only to faculty, but also to administrators, and then beyond to health professionals. For people with disabilities, the added workload and stress around accessing accommodations twice a year at the risk of losing their job and benefits creates flares, worsening symptoms, and consumes energy that we need to maintain health and do our jobs. These medical certifications are invasive, humiliating, and disruptive. By contrast, students with disabilities only need to submit one certification. This practice should be consistently applied to all students, faculty, and staff. The fact that a different practice exists for students and faculty is evidence that faculty recertification policies are discriminatory. As our lawyers point out, a divergent implementation in the interactive process is evidence of an arbitrary and retaliatory animus toward faculty and staff with disabilities. With regard to the last two HR issues I'd raise, I'd just like to quickly highlight that in many instances, the HR office that denied an employee's accommodation request is the very same office that reviews the employee's appeal, which has led to many unjust denials to be upheld, resulting in grievances and litigation. And finally, the ABSCF Disability Rights Committee has documented pervasive and significant flaws in HR department's explanations of FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act, and ADA policies. HR and administrators have mistakenly told faculty, for example, that they are not eligible for ADA accommodations when they are. And when faculty and staff come to them with questions, HR and administrators often say different things. We therefore strongly recommend that our HR colleagues be trained on legal requirements so that they are able to provide clear and accurate answers on disability and leave policies. To close, I want to thank you all very much for listening and for demonstrating a willingness to address these issues over the past year. We are encouraged by the changes that are already being implemented in ADA coordination at the state level. We hope that this is a first step and this call for action provides a blueprint for where to go next. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'll provide an opportunity for public comment. Randy, would you please facilitate?
Yes, we have one member of the public who asked to speak via Zoom, Dr. Jill Craven.
Hello, I am Dr. Jill Craven, Professor Emerita from Millersville University. My comments will piggyback off Jess Hughes's comments, but my comments are my own. Over the past year and a half, employees and students across the system have shared experiences that point not just to concerns, but to violations of the ADA. When I spoke with you in February, I said I had not seen meaningful change. I will admit, I had hoped not to be Zooming here in April saying the same thing. I suspect I'm not the only one who had that hope. I'll be direct. The current format where I speak and you thank me is efficient. It is also remarkably good at preserving the status quo. As Frederick Douglass observed, power concedes nothing without a demand. Acknowledgement on its own is not a response, it's a prelude. What is missing is the exercise of the board's authority to ensure that something actually changes. After 35 years under the ADA, compliance should not be a matter of interpretation or institutional variation. It should be consistent, measurable, and embedded in how these universities operate. And while I recognize the board's focus on legal accountability, I would urge you to consider the ethical dimension as well. The ADA establishes a minimum standard. Failing to meet even that minimum, especially over this length of time, should give us pause. So rather than raise concerns without offering a path forward, I wrote a policy, one that I believe is necessary. As someone who teaches writing, I can say with confidence it's much easier to improve a draft than to generate action from abstraction. I've sent the policy to Randy Goyne, and he will distribute it to the board members and anyone who wants it. What I am offering is a draft policy, one that attempts to address systemic gaps in ADA compliance, including those described by Dr. Jess Hughes. It's not perfect, and it should not be treated as such, but it is specific and it is actionable. I ask that the board refer this draft to the Audit, Compliance, and Risk Committee for formal review. With appropriate revision and legal vetting, a policy of this kind could help ensure that ADA compliance is not incidental, but embedded, reflected in leadership expectations, institutional practices, and measurable outcomes. At this point, after 35 years, the question shifts. It's no longer whether compliance is possible. It is whether compliance is being taken seriously enough to ensure that it actually happens consistently at every campus. Thank you for your time, and I ask that this draft policy be entered into the official record, to be sent to anyone who requests it, and to be reflected in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. And if there's any members of the public here present who would like to speak, just approach the podium. I see no speakers, Madam Chair.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Next, we'll have an update from Dr. Rich Furix on behalf of our university trustees. And Rich, while you're making your way to the podium, I do want to point out that a little later this morning, we will be honoring you as you complete 2 terms as PACT president and many decades more of service to the system. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm still standing, so
Yes, you are.
made it, I guess. Good morning, everyone. Let me start by recapping a successful morning yesterday. Thank you to the governors and the trustees who were able to attend the keynote session facilitated by EAB. The presentation focusing on becoming an institution of choice was interesting and informative. The trustees appreciated the opportunity to again join the governors in its interactive session, AI and the Next Era in Higher Education in Pennsylvania. Again, very interesting and informative. Thank you, Dr. Dempsey, for facilitating. We moved to our annual meeting, and an important part of that annual meeting was the review of the slate of officers for the 2026 to 2028 session. We are nominating for President Angel Stobenner from Slippery Rock. First Vice President from Westchester will be Betty Silva. Second Vice President from Millersville, Thomas Baker. Our Treasurer, Sandy Green from Kutztown, and our Treasurer, Thomas Grayuski from East Stroudsburg. They will begin their offices on July 1. A special thank you to our second Vice President, Mark Bellini, who will be stepping off the board. Mark, I appreciate your assistance, guidance, and support as I leave the presidency. As I reflect on my time as president, I continue to express my belief that the future of the system rests not only with the Board of Governors, but also with the individual trustees at our 10 universities. As trustees, we must not live in silos. We must become involved in understanding and participating in system business. Over the past several years, we have seen a shift in Council of Trustees membership. More trustees are employed and appreciate the ability to learn and become involved in the system virtually. And we must take advantage of this. We have offered a variety of ways for individual trustees to get involved and must continue to find ways to increase their system participation. Our recent virtual meeting with the Chancellor of the Council of Trustees, chairs, and the PAC board is an excellent example of this continued dialogue. As I close out my term as PAC president, I would like to thank Chancellor Florentino and Chairwoman Sapira for their continued support and encouragement. And I encourage the Chancellor, the Chair, and the governors to continue to work closely with our new officers as they continue to make our trustees an integral part of the system. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I appreciate those remarks. We'll now consider the action items listed on the consent agenda, and those include meeting minutes and the reappointment of student board member Sina Sharifi, who will be rolling into his graduate program at Shippensburg. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, the motion carries, and congratulations. Next, I will ask Dr. Brandon Dons, Chair of the Student Success Committee, to facilitate the presentation of this year's Ali Zade Award. Please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Should I? Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Madam Chair. I'm really excited to present and announce this award, and also ask Dr. Karen Riley to come to the podium to do the actual presentation. But just a little bit of background first. So created in 2000 by Dr. Saeed Ali Zade, a charter member of the Board of Governors, the States and the State System Foundation. The Syed Ali Zade Award for Academic Excellence is conferred annually upon a graduating senior from one of the state system universities in recognition of outstanding academic achievement. And what an amazing accomplishment. 1 out of 83,000. It's pretty awesome. Funding for this award was made possible through gifts from Dr. Ali Zade, as well as Highmark Inc. and the Pesci Foundation. The Pesci Foundation is a valuable partner in supporting and enhancing student persistence, completion, excellence, internships, and employment, which is perfectly aligned with the goals of our Student Success Committee. Several students were nominated by universities for the 2026 Ali Zade Award, and each of those students represents the best of talent, motivation, and remarkable accomplishments of the students in Pesci. In recognition of their achievements, each nominee will receive a certificate signed by the Chancellor and me, as well as a monetary award from the foundation. The winner receives $2,500 as an award, and I'll ask President Karen Riley to introduce our winner this year. Thank you, Dr. Riley.
Thank you so much. Abby, could you come on up? So we are so proud of our student Abby. She is, we haven't had a Ali Zade Award winner since 2014. And when you hear a little bit about her, you will say, wow, this is someone that has hit it out of the park. So we might start by saying that she is graduating at the age of 19. So she has finished her completed undergraduate degree in 2 years. Alongside of that, with academic high honors, she has passed 2 actuarial exams. Now, anybody who understands those actuarial exams, my son-in-law, also an actuarial, says actuaries are as smart as CPAs wish they were. So we won't go too far into that. However, when we look at the what Pesci means to the Commonwealth, to our families, to our students, we couldn't have a better exemplar for someone who has come into Slippery Rock University, has taken advantage of the best of what we've had to offer, and then will move. She already has a job. She's starting her job right away. And that is exactly what we are here to do. So I will allow Abby to do a few remarks. Abby?
Good morning. Thank you for having me today. I am so honored to have been selected as the winner this year. I know there's immense competition in the Pesci system, 83,000 amazing students, and I'm honored to have gotten this award. I think Slippery Rock is such an amazing place to study. I'm so fortunate to have an incredible math department that surrounds me. When I face a difficult challenge, I'm surrounded by people who are constantly asking me how they can help me, how they can better support me. And I think that's representative of the entire Pesci system, especially Slippery Rock. But I'm totally honored to be here, and I promise to make your investment in myself worthwhile.
And I believe we have some additional words of congratulations from 2 speakers who are on Zoom. May I call on Representative Rapp?
Thank you to the Board of Directors and Trustees for inviting me here today to honor one of my constituents who has really been a star in this system. And Abby, I'm very proud and honored myself to have been invited to honor you today. You definitely have proven yourself to be an exemplary student, and I'm sure the entire community of Warren, the county, the educational system here is very, very proud of your, as I am, and reading through everything that was presented to me and the whys and wherefores of how you achieved this award is just outstanding. And it's amazing to me to be able to be here and to talk to you about the citation that I have for you that will be forthcoming. But I would like to just talk a little bit about the citation, its contents. But I can assure you this community of Warren is very, very proud of you and your accomplishments, and very appreciative of the PASHE system for recognizing your accomplishments, your abilities, and what you have achieved in such a short life. And we certainly welcome you into the world of employment and being a responsible citizen, which you've already proved to be. So on to the citation, Abby, and we will certainly be able to give this to you in person. But for the benefit of those there and in the audience, this is from the House of Representatives, and these citations are meaningful to me because they go to people who are outstanding citizens. And for yourself at such a young age, this is really a statement that we have coming up who will be our future leaders in our communities and our country. So just a little bit out of the citation. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania is always pleased to acknowledge those individuals who, through their outstanding achievement, bring great honor upon themselves and the Commonwealth. And whereas Abby Becker is being honored with the Saeed Ali Zade Award for Academic Excellence by the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education during its quarterly meeting, which will be held October 16th. And whereas a student at Slippery Rock University, Ms. Becker is majoring in mathematics with minors in statistics and business administration. She previously an associate degree in mathematics from Jamestown Community College while attending high school. To her great credit, she has passed 2 Society of Actuaries examinations and secured a full-time position as an actuarial analysis at Erie Insurance. Active in her community, Ms. Becker serves as secretary of Gamma Iota Sigma and as parliamentarian for the Statistics Club. Praise and recognition for the exceptional commitment and dedication which she has consistently displayed in earning this award. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Abby Becker upon her well-deserved recognition, proudly notes her exemplary record of service and contributions in keeping with the highest ideals of this Commonwealth, offers best wishes for the continuation of her many worthwhile and beneficial endeavors, and directs that a copy of this citation, sponsored by myself, Representative Kathy Rapp, will be transmitted to you, Abby. And this citation is also signed by the Speaker of the House, Joe, and also by Brooke Wheeler, the Chief Clerk of the House. Abby, congratulations, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and handing off this citation to you in person. I am very proud of you, and again, I know our community is very proud of you as well. And thank you to the board for allowing myself and Senator Hutchinson to present these to you today. Congratulations again, Abby. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Rapp. And now let me please call on Senator Hutchinson.
Hello, thank you also to the Board of Governors for allowing me to congratulate and give my very best wishes to this outstanding young lady. Abby, we are so proud of you. I am proud that you are my constituent, and so proud that you are such an exceptional student, someone who pursues excellence and goes the extra mile. I was just blown away when I heard of your achievements so far. I'm well aware of the daunting task it is to pass the actuarial exams. One of my very best friends in high school, we also went to college together. And he pursued the track of actuary. And when I saw how much he had to study, and it took him years and years to make it through that minefield, so much hard work, but you're already well on your way to becoming an actuary. So congratulations on this great achievement. I'm also wanted to point out Dr. Ali Zade was somebody I knew very well. He was another person committed to excellence. He thought that excellence should be congratulated and applauded, and also so proud that you are a student at Slippery Rock, which is a great institution here in my legislative district also. So again, on behalf of myself, on behalf of our community, on behalf of the Senate of Pennsylvania, congratulations. Keep up the good work. We are delighted that you are from our area, but just you're a shining example of the kind of students that are attending our state system of higher ed schools, and you wear that achievement well. So congratulations. Thank you for allowing me to say this today, and you will be getting a citation from the Senate also. All
right, we'll just take a pause for a moment while we take a photograph of the winner.
Okay. Well, that was certainly the best part of my day. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ready to go home now. Let us now move into the Governance and Leadership Committee, and let me turn it over to Vice Chair Sam Smith, who is also Chair of the Governance and Leadership Committee, to moderate.
Thank you, Chair Shapiro. Toya, would you please take the roll call?
Yes, Chair. Governor Sam Smith.
Here.
Governor David Mazer.
Present.
Governor Thank you. Governor Abigail Hancox,
Present.
Dr. Cynthia Shapiro,
Here?
Governor Robert Trainum,
Here.
and President Karen Riley, our non-voting president liaison.
Here.
This completes the roll. Thank you.
Thank you, Toya. This morning, we have a number of actions to consider in the committee: appointment of 7 student trustees and the appointment of 2 student board members to the Board of Governors. First, we'll address the student trustee appointments. As you know, providing a student voice on the Council of Trustees is an important role for this board. With students on our councils, we can ensure they always have access to the student perspective when making decisions. The universities have a well-developed recruiting process to identify and vet potential candidates in order to make recommendations for appointment. And in the agenda packet is information regarding the student trustee candidates that we will consider today. I will now enumerate them and ask for a specific motion. Caitlin McCauley for Kutztown University Council Trustees, and I'll ask President Cavalier to say a few words about this appointment.
Thank you. Caitlin is a remarkable young woman. She's a business administration major. She's a first-gen student. She's a commuter. She transferred from Lehigh Carbon Community College, where she graduated summa cum laude, and she's continued her great academic work at KU. Was recently inducted into Tau Sigma Transfer Honor Society. But one of the things that's remarkable among many about Caitlin is that her mother died when she was 18 and left her basically financially on her own. And Caitlin has worked the last 5 years at Lehigh Country Club to support herself, which is a remarkable thing given all the other accomplishments. So she is well deserving of this. She plans to pursue an MBA after graduation. For some reason, she chose to go to class today instead of being here, which is a strange decision. Anyway, an absolutely wonderful example of our Kutztown students.
Thank you, Doctor. Emma Kilmeyer for Millersville University Council of Trustees, and I'll ask President Wuba to say a few words about that appointment.
All right, I think given Dr. Wuba's not being here, he's asked me to advance the nomination.
Very well.
And thank you, Emma, for being here today and skipping class. All right, so Emma Kilmeyer is a highly accomplished chemistry major with a minor in mathematics and data science. Emma has a 3.9 GPA. She is graduating in May of 2027, on schedule for that. Emma is secretary of the Student Government Association at Millersville University, and I'll say that you'll be the 4th existing member of the Council of Trustees at Millersville who is 3 former members of the Student Government Association. One of them is Jordan Harris, who is the current appropriations chair for the State House of Representatives. Tom Baker and myself, who were all in student government together, which was pretty cool. The American Chemical Society chapter, vice president of that chapter. She is a resident assistant. She's a student representative on the General Education Outcomes Assessment Committee. And through Emma's leadership, research, and commitment to student advocacy, she has demonstrated a strong passion for improving student experience and representing her peers. So on behalf of Dr. Wuba, I'm excited to nominate Emma Kilmeyer for student trustee at Millersville.
Thank you, Brandon. Next, we have Addison Gregory and Rachel Braun for the Penn West University Council of Trustees, and I'll ask President Anderson to introduce them to us.
Thank you. Let's begin with Rachel. Rachel is a sophomore mathematics major with a minor in sport management, is also pursuing a certificate in data analytics. She's a member of the honors program and a scholarship athlete on the women's cross country team. In addition, she is actively engaged in campus leadership as a member of the Student Senate, an officer in the math club, and a member of Eagle Ambassadors. Rachel brings strong leadership and a clear commitment to student experience. I'm confident she'll represent her fellow students exceptionally well while serving as a thoughtful and trusted voice for the council. And we certainly support Rachel and look forward to working with her. Addison is a sophomore biology major with a concentration in pre-dental, She has demonstrated strong academic achievement as a member of the honors program and maintains an impressive record of campus engagement. Her involvement involves service in the student government, participation student activities board, and biology club. She is also a member of the Delta Zeta sorority and represents the university on the Vulcan cheerleading team. Addison brings a high level of engagement, and we look forward to working with her and her perspective. She has also been a very effective guest on the Power of Penn West podcast, which was fun to hear her story. We support both of them and are very excited and looking forward to working with them.
Thank you, President Anderson. Next, I will be asking President Patterson to introduce us to Henry Mole for the Shippensburg University Council of Trustees.
Thank you, Governor Smith. I am pleased to support the selection of Henry Mole as Shippensburg University's next student trustee. Henry is a political science major with a minor in military science and has already distinguished himself as a thoughtful, disciplined, and engaged student leader. As an ROTC cadet within Shippensburg's Raider Battalion, he has taken on meaningful leadership responsibilities, including serving as a cannon crew captain and Ranger Challenge co-captain, where he has helped plan, train, organize major events, and brief battalion leadership. Beyond ROTC, he's an active member of the Men's Rugby Club, the Raider Run Club, a ROTC Bible study, and intramural sports, reflecting his strong commitment to the broader student experience. What stands out most is his sincere interest in serving others, particularly his desire to strengthen support for student veterans, improve communication with students and university leadership, and represent his peers with integrity. I believe Henry will bring a strong work ethic, maturity, and genuine sense of purpose in his role. I'm confident he will serve with distinction and be an outstanding representative of Shippensburg University's Council of Trustees. Thank you.
Thank you, President Patterson. And for Slippery Rock University Council Trustees, Alex Momire, and I will ask President Riley to introduce Alex. Although I'll tell you, Alex is from Punxsutawney, so I know him and his parents went to the same church together.
Well, then I just won't say anything, I guess. No, it's my pleasure to introduce Alex Momire as the new student trustee for Slippery Rock University. Alex is a junior majoring in safety management at SRU. His accolades are many, and he is a highly respected student leader on campus. He's an exemplary student academically with a 3.8 GPA and is the recipient of numerous academic scholarships. He's a third-year cadet in SRU's Army ROTC program and earned Cadet of the Month recognition for outstanding performance. He studied abroad in Germany and Italy, gaining crucial life and career skills and fostering a global perspective, working with diverse populations. He's a green and white student ambassador, treasurer, and community service co-chair of the American Society of Safety Professionals, and holds leadership positions in numerous other campus student activities. His active involvement in these campus experiences require collaboration across organizations, committee leadership, budget responsibilities, and effective communication. Alex has received numerous honors, including Rotary Youth Leadership Award, and is an Eagle Scout, reflecting a long-standing commitment to service, discipline, and character. Aside from all his academic and professional achievements, Alex is a gracious, respectful, and engaging individual, and I'm confident he will serve the Council of Trustees and Slippery Rock University very well.
Thank you, President Riley. And finally, we will have an introduction of Layla Chateau for Westchester University, and I'll ask President Bernatowski to say a few words about this appointment.
Thank you. Layla Chateau is currently pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with a concentration in international relations, along with minors in business law, politics and society, and Spanish. She's distinguished herself as a Dean's List student with an outstanding GPA. Her academic work is complemented by her role as a peer tutor in our Learning Assistance and Resource Center, where she supports fellow students in political science courses and helps build their confidence and success in the classroom. Her leadership on campus is both broad and impactful. She has served as a senator in the Student Government Association, representing the College of the Sciences and Mathematics, is an active member of the First Generation Rams, and will serve as social media chair for the Pre-Law Society. What makes her perspective especially meaningful, though, is her personal journey. As a first-generation college student who took a non-traditional path to higher education She understands firsthand the challenges many of our students face, from financial uncertainty to finding connection and belonging on campus. She has experienced both hesitation and deep engagement in campus life. And it's this dual perspective that fuels her passion for helping every student feel welcomed, supported, and empowered to participate fully in the university experience. As student trustee, she will be committed to fostering a campus environment where all students, regardless of background or level of initial involvement, are encouraged to engage, explore, and succeed. In fact, Lila desires to be a student trustee not because of what holding the position can do for her, but because holding that position will enable her to advocate and speak for others. So we are proud to welcome her into this important leadership role and look forward to the insight, energy, and dedication she will bring to the Council of Trustees.
Thank you. Having been presented with a little bit of background and for all, I want to make sure you realize that in our packet, there is additional like letters of support and sort of resumes, if you will, of these students. And I know we can't read all of this stuff word for word. Certainly, I mean, I know I can't. I'm a slow reader though. But I do encourage you to just peruse through those and skim it. It's amazing with these students, as well as the couple that we'll be talking about for the Board of Governors, that what they have achieved and what they're all about. And I do encourage you to take a minute to look at it. So may I have a motion that the committee recommends the board appoints these 7 students as members of their respective councils of trustees? Ms. Hancox?
So moved.
So moved.
And a second by Mr. Mazer. Thank you. Is there any discussion or comments from any committee members or anyone else on the Board of Governors that's present here today? Hearing none, may those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is adopted. Randy, how do you want to handle any students here?
Yes.
Say a few words.
Yeah,
I'll let
we're
you
happy to say we have a
take care
few
of that.
students here and a few via Zoom. So first we'll ask Emma and Alex, who are here, to approach the podium and share any words you'd like to say to the board. And then we'll go to those who are on Zoom.
I just want to thank the board for this opportunity to serve my fellow students and represent them and continue advocating for students at Millersville University. I'm excited for this role.
What's your name?
Emma.
Oh, you're Emma?
Thank you,
Okay.
Emma.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, and next, Alex.
Hello, I want to start by thanking everybody for giving me this opportunity. Sam, it's been a great time knowing you, so thank you for introducing us. It was a really wild time coming in yesterday and seeing Sam and going, I know this guy. But no, I wanted just to say that we're all great leaders here individually, but collectively, both the Board of Governors and the trustees, when we come together, we can represent a bigger cause than just what we can do on our own. So I wanted to thank Karen Riley and Angel for the opportunity and be great leaders for the Slippery Rock University. So thank you.
Great. And now we have several who have joined us via Zoom because they're going to class, I think, today. So first, let's start with Rachel, if you're available. And then we'll go to Henry.
Yes, hello. I don't know if you can hear me. Well,
We can.
Sorry. I have a tracking I'm going to in 5 minutes, so I have to do that. But anyways, regarding that, I just wanted to thank Dr. Anderson for like the good introduction there, and I'm just really excited to serve, and I can't wait to see what I can do for Clarion and what I can do for Council of Trustees.
Great. Thank you. Next, we'll go to Henry and then Lila.
You guys all hear me all right?
And
Right. I first want to thank President Patterson for his kind words and also thank all of the board for this amazing opportunity, as well as the Council of Trustees at SHIP, all the staff at SHIP, and the current student trustee, Colin Arnold, for making this a seamless process for me and getting me up to speed. I'm super excited for this opportunity to represent all the students of Shippensburg and really help the PASHE system move forward. Thank you guys, and Raiders lead the way.
Thanks, Henry. And finally, Lila from Westchester.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you to President Bernofsky and thank you to everyone else for this opportunity. I'm honored to hold this position at Westchester and across the PASSY board. As I witnessed yesterday attending the conference, I really am among such devoted, hardworking people and who also share the same passion as I do towards higher education. So I'm extremely grateful to be working with everyone and I'm excited to see what's to come this year.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That is all of our students with us.
All right, thank you, and congratulations to all these new student trustees. I'm sure it's a great learning experience in of itself for both you and for the board members you'll be serving with. Later in this board meeting, we will be offering resolutions in honor of Abby and Mark Handy, who will be graduating in May and ending their service to the Board of Governors. And while we're sad to see them go, this committee is bringing forward its recommendations for these student appointees to fill their seats after they graduate. To begin the process, we invited university presidents to nominate up to 2 students. And let me say, we continue to receive really amazing candidates for these roles, and I'm so impressed with all the nominees. After reviewing the nominees submitted to us from the various presidents and conducting interviews, the Governance and Leadership Committee recommends Brenna McGowan from Kutztown and Sade Taylor from Penn West to fill the seats when they are vacated. Now, please ask President Cavalier to please say a few words about Brenna.
Thank you. Brenna is a sophomore who's majoring in marketing. She's been an SGB member, at-large member. She was the unanimous choice by SGB to come forward to me, and she's a remarkable woman. She's currently the vice chair as a sophomore of the Kutztown University Student Services, Inc., which is responsible, of course, for allocating all the student fee funds, which is a tremendous vote of confidence for a sophomore. She's also a presidential ambassador, and so she represents KU at all kinds of alumni events and other events. I think the thing that really struck home with me is that she wants to advocate for career readiness across PASSY. And that is in part because of her brother's experience having graduated last year from Kutztown and trying to find work. But she's also eager to push on creating more internships at KU and other hands-on experiences, which is very much in line with what I would like for us to be doing. So I'm looking forward to her being a partner on campus, but also with the work that she'll do with the Board of Governors.
Thank you. And President Anderson, would you please give us a little bit of background about Sade?
Certainly. I do want to first thank our 3 student members. It has been so good to get to know all of you, and we will miss the 2 of you who are leaving, Mark Handy, Ellie, and Abby. And we know what an important role that you fill. So let me talk about Zade Taylor. We are proud to congratulate her on her consideration for this appointment to the Board of Governors as a student member. She has made a meaningful impact on the Penn West Edinboro campus through leadership, service, commitment to fostering a strong sense of community. I know her well. I've had the chance to work with her on a number of things. Zade is a Dean's List student. Zade is pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood Education, is a member of the Honors Program, maintaining over a 3.6 GPA. Her academic focus reflects a strong commitment to learning, leadership, and service. She demonstrates a deep commitment to fostering community, creating an inclusive, welcoming environment where all students feel a sense of belonging and support. Her leadership engagement across Penn West Edinboro campus reflects her character and drive. Among the many roles, she currently serves as a parliamentarian of the Student Government Association. She is a member of the Penn West Leadership Academy, the Black Student Union, and contributes her time and talents to the Office of Community Opportunity Responsibility Engagement, or CORE. In this role, she supports initiatives such as Building Bridges program and assisting in hosting the 2025 PASSY Summit on Penn West Clarion's campus. I'm confident she will bring the same passion and perspective to the system level, serving as a thoughtful and effective voice for students across the state system. We look forward to the contribution she will make in this important role and are thankful for her perspective and what she will bring to this appointment based on her experience as a student in an integrated university. So thank you for considering Sadie, and we look forward to supporting her in this role.
Thank you, President Anderson. I now ask for a motion that the committee recommends the appointment of Brenna McGowan and Sade Taylor as members of the board in accordance with the state system's enabling legislation as amended.
So moved.
And second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate that. Is there any discussion from the committee members or from other board members relative to this motion? Hearing none. Members of the committee, all vote, please, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is adopted. Randy, you want to,
Yes.
if they're available?
Yeah, absolutely. Brenna's in class today, but Sade is with us. So would you like to say a few words? You just need to unmute your, there you go.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so very much for this opportunity. I'm truly honored and grateful to be here. As a student, I'm excited for the opportunity to learn, to contribute, and to just represent all students across the state system. I'm currently in my field placement right now, but being here, just simply working with the students, it's a powerful reminder that the work that we do at the state system, it truly has a lasting impact on students' lives, on mine, and then my future students and the students that I'm working with right now. That connection, it's something I carry with me. It's what motivates me. It's very intentional, and I just hope that on my time with my time on the board that I will be able to represent and advocate for others just across the entire state. I look forward to learning from each of you and contributing to the important work we have ahead. So thank you very much.
You.
All right, thank you very much to the Randy and his staff, and I specifically want to thank the presidents for their work in terms of setting up the review process to make recommendations, both for student council trustees, members, and the Board of Governors student positions, because I mean, without your efforts to make sure that, you know, you're searching within your university for, you know, these qualified students that you know, want and are capable of bringing, you know, the degree of representation that these students have done. You do an excellent job. And I know it's just not an automatic thing. So thank you for your efforts to all of our presidents for bringing these students to our attention. Madam Chair, later in a few minutes, we'll be taking up, the full board will be taking up the ratification of these actions. But at this point, that concludes the committee's business.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I am now going to turn to our Chancellor for his remarks. And I do want to acknowledge that we've just marked 1 year since you've been appointed. I am sure it's been the longest year of your life. But
COVID was pretty interesting too.
Well, yeah, aside from COVID, but we so much appreciate your leadership and the progress that we are making. So please, Chris, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everybody. I will reflect a little bit on my first year, but a couple of things I would like to start with. First of all, I know I'm a little bit of a broken record on bringing this up while I've been in this chair, but these meetings don't happen by accident. They take a lot of work, and what I'm learning is about a week after the end of a board meeting, the planning starts for the next one. And it is a lot to pull all these things together, all the people who are involved. And I want to thank Randy. I want to thank Toya. Toya comes up here a couple days early and just spends a couple days wringing her hands, making sure everything is perfect. All the staff of the Chancellor's office who participated in preparing for it, who made remarks during the sessions. I thank you all for your great work. It's really an incredible team of people to work with. I also wanted to thank Rich Frericks. It's been a pleasure to work with you, Rich, during your time as the PAC chair. And I do want to acknowledge Abby and Mark Handy, who are going off the Board of Governors. It's truly been a pleasure to work with you. to you and actually to the oncoming new student board members and to the COT members, student COT members. The student voice in our deliberations is critical. Your roles are extremely important. Obviously, we have a lot of people with a lot of experience, but you are the ones who are on the ground at the universities experiencing student life and the contributions that you have made during your time and that all the students who serve in these roles make to our discussions over time are extremely valuable. And it's always interesting, the Board of Governors students from time to time find themselves in a position where they have to vote on something like maybe raising tuition. And it's very interesting to put the students in a position where you would assume a student would say right out of the gate, well, no, I don't want to raise tuition. But there's a lot that goes into the decision, a lot to consider. And you all have been extremely thoughtful and very valuable to us. And I personally am very appreciative, and I know everybody's very appreciative of your work. Sina, I'm glad you're continuing, and we look forward to inviting our two new members to join us. So thank you all for that. I think that was all the thank you. So, yeah, so let me reflect a little bit on my first year. It's hard to believe that I'm sitting here, and it was last April I was sitting here and made the transition from the interim chancellor, who had only agreed to do this for about 9 months, and my wife had only agreed to do it for 9 months, and we jointly made the decision to commit to it. And you know, I took this job having spent already more than 40 years in the system, and it's humbling to reflect on how much I learned even in this past year. That I thought I knew a lot, and I guess I did, but now I know more. And one of the benefits is that I've had the opportunity to visit each of the campuses, interact with the administrations, the faculty, the students, staff on the campuses, walk the campuses, see what conditions are like, and there's no substitute for that. It really did give me a perspective on what life is like on the campuses, and that has certainly helped me a lot. I'm fully engaged in this work. I'm inspired by the work that we do, our incredible faculty, the students we graduate and send out into the world prepared to make a difference. We change lives. We do so many wonderful things in this system, and it's truly an honor to be in this seat leading this effort. Obviously, we have many challenges that we're facing, but we have so much to be proud of in the work that we do. And what I'd like to do is just take a second to reflect on a few of those things. It's April, and May is graduation month, and so we're going to be graduating another class of students coming up. And we have some interesting statistics about those students and other things. We're expecting this year to graduate just short of 20,000 students. Based on last year's numbers, and the numbers are relatively stable, but we'll be getting the actual numbers shortly. We're going to graduate about 1,800 new teachers, 1,500 new nurses and health professionals, 2,100 STEM graduates, including actuaries, about 2,000 business grads, and of course, many, many others. But we highlight those because they are the major areas that the Commonwealth is focused on in terms of providing highly educated workforce to meet the needs of businesses and other organizations in the Commonwealth. And we're very proud to be playing the role of graduating so many talented students. And a couple of related points, they're joining a strong alumni network of about 600,000 PASHE graduates who are in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, 600,000. 90% of our students come from Pennsylvania. You've heard that statistic. The chair mentioned it earlier, I think, but it's worth repeating over and over again. It's very important that people realize that this is Pennsylvania's public higher education system. And we're also very pleased to report that 80% of our graduates stay in Pennsylvania, take their first job, start their lives, and contribute to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So this is truly a high-impact organization doing a wonderful job of educating these students and keeping them here in the Commonwealth to meet the needs of our communities, of our businesses, and other organizations. Some additional statistics. We hit an all-time record high in terms of retention this year, 81%, the highest we've ever achieved. And part of that was retention milestones at Cheney, Commonwealth, IUP, Kutztown, and Slippery Rock. All those schools hit their own record highs. So that reflects the great work that's being done to retain our students. And we're very proud of that. We feel we have more work to do, but we certainly should stop and celebrate our successes when we can. PASSHE graduates earn 65% more over their careers than high school graduates alone. And they earn nearly $1 million in additional income. And we recently learned that the benchmark for students being able to pay off their loans is about 10 years. And nearly all the grads of PASSHE universities are able to pay off their loans within that 10-year period. So that suggests that they're leaving here, they've taken loans to invest in themselves, and they're successful to the point that they're able to pay off those loans and then move forward with their lives. So these are all factors that we are very proud of and we need to celebrate. I want to close just with a few words about the ADA issues that we've been discussing. First of all, I want to thank APSCUF for the hard work that went into this document. I've just received the document, so I have not had a chance to go through it thoroughly. I know that we can learn from the work that's in here, and I appreciate the effort, and I acknowledge the passion of the people who put in the time to do this work. We all want the same thing when it comes to ADA compliance. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to say a few words about. First of all, when it comes to the issue of remote work accommodations that were requested, it's important for the board to understand that if we receive a request, we often hear that we receive a request and we deny it. Well, as was pointed out correctly in the presentation, this is an interactive process. The fact that we might receive a request and not feel that that request as it stands is the accommodation that needs to be made is not a rejection of the request. The process has to be a negotiation. And we often have differences of opinion in labor relations in many venues, and we have all sorts of regular processes we go through to settle our disagreements. We have arbitrations and grievances and so forth, and that's all part of the work. So the fact that we might be disagreeing on something does not mean that we're not committed to achieving success in reaching accommodations. And again, every one of these accommodations is a separate issue. It needs to be looked at in terms of the particular facts around the issue. And we are committed to making sure that we are making accommodations that will do the best we can to accommodate the needs of the faculty, also understanding that we are universities with a mission, and we have to maintain an eye on whether the accommodations are enabling us to continue to support our students in the manner that we are expected. So it is a challenging process. I understand there are differences of opinion. I understand that in some cases we have outcomes that are unpopular. We have had circumstances that have gone to court that we've lost. These are all part of the overall process. I just had to be able to say something about that. And beyond that, there's another very important aspect of this. The work accommodations are actually a small part of ADA compliance. As was suggested, there are many aspects of, let's say, the conditions of the facilities. We have buildings on our campuses that some of them that go back centuries, and many of them are out of compliance. The laws change over time, the compliance requirements change over time, and there are laws that relate to how we have to come into compliance. it's important that we take the time to find out what we have that's not in compliance. And I can tell you, we are currently working through a process to review all the facilities on all the campuses to identify the gaps in terms of our compliance. There are gaps, there's no question about it. But the law requires us to address the gaps when we engage in renovation of facilities. If we were to be required to just stop everything and bring every building into compliance all at once, I'm not sure we'd be able to continue to pursue the mission of education. It would take too much money. So it's understood that we are required to complete this process over time, and it's very critical that we make sure we know what the most important issues are, to have plans associated with how we're going to address them when the opportunity arises, and we are working on that. I will acknowledge there are things that I believe we can do better, and we are continuing to review those things. We do have compliance personnel on every campus. It's very important that we do. They communicate among themselves. They communicate with the Chancellor's office. We work with all the facilities operations. We are committed to being in compliance, not just legally, although of course legally is the initial thing that we have to make sure that we're achieving. But then the moral issue that was raised, certainly we don't disagree with the fact that we need to make sure that our facilities are in compliance, that we're treating our workers in compliance, and we are committed to do that. So thank you very much, Madam Chair. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Chancellor. We very much appreciate it. I think your remarks were enlightening. As a board, we'll continue to work on this. We want to work with our faculty, with our staff, with our students, with our presidents. Truly, we're all on the same page. And we're going to continue to make progress. Again, I thank you for those clear remarks. With that, let us move on. We're now going to hear an update about our foundation from Dr. Shelley Scherer, who is president of the Pesci Foundation. And we look forward to your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this time. It's something that I get to do every year, and I enjoy the opportunity to give you an update about what we're doing. Before I do that, though, I just want to say thank you to Chancellor Fiorentino and his team. The work that the foundation does is about bringing together stakeholders from different sectors. We raise funds, and all of that is a team sport. And there's nothing that the foundation does that we could do alone or without your support and partnership. So thank you for that. I also want to thank the Board of Governors. I don't know how often you are thanked for your service. Maybe you feel like you are. But I want to make sure that you hear a thank you from me. Before I came to this job, I knew about the work of the state system and how important and impactful it was for our students and for our employers. And I know that that's a reason that probably motivates you to come, but I want to just reiterate that, like you, I believe that the state system is one of Pennsylvania's most important assets. And this little card that Randy and his team produce, I hope you carry it proudly because it has facts that I repeat often as well. And some of them that continue to amaze and surprise me. We have the most in-state students of all Pennsylvania universities. That's a big number, and it's something that we should be very proud of. So the foundation is very excited to share this little update. I'm really honored to be part of bringing ideas and partnerships and financial resources to the important mission that the state system has and to the work that we are able to do together. Those of you around the table here have more information, my contact information. If there are questions, I'm sorry that my back is to you. So thank you for being here as well. And if you'd like any other backup, I can share that with you. Before I go on, I want to thank two of my board members for being here today. Abigail Hancock serves on the Pesci Foundation board, and David Kerr, who's a chair of the board, is also here. So next slide. So I'm not going to read these slides. You can look at our history as you would like. I think the important message that I want to carry is that over the 40 years of the Foundation's history, we have ever evolved. It has changed a great deal since it was launched by Chancellor McCormick back in the 80s. And we continue to hone and analyze our own efforts and focus. As a result, last year during 2025, the Pesci Foundation spent much of that year as a board developing a bold and what I will say aspirational strategic plan. This new strategic plan we refer to as our 2030 Vision for Impact, positions the foundation to strengthen the connection between education and opportunity within our sphere of influence. This vision for impact is built on 3 pillars. The first is to facilitate, fund, and drive innovation in Pennsylvania's talent strategy. The second is to increase post-secondary opportunity, access, and achievement. And finally, we are committed to operating as a high-performing organization ourselves. Next slide. So what do we actually do? One of my board members came up with the 3 I's. So we're going to go with 3 I's. I'm guided by our strategic plan. We incubate and fund innovation. These programs connect Pesci University students to in-demand fields through work-based learning, career-connected credentials, and employer relationships. We also deliver industry insights to form decision-making about academic programs and employer priorities. Finally, we invest in student success by filling gaps in traditional student aid. We have targeted scholarships, we have emergency funds, we award scholarships for short-term credentials, and we provide exposure to the Pesci campus experience. Next slide. So to provide a little more context about what that means, I'm going to spend a minute or 2 or 3 talking about one example of what we do, and that is around work-based learning. So for those of you who were in yesterday's meeting, you heard a lot about the importance of career-connected learning, of connecting education to opportunity, and being able to deliver that value proposition to incoming students and their families. So work-based learning in the context of the state systems initiative is a high-impact practice that falls under an umbrella in the academic lingo of experiential learning. We define work-based learning to include apprenticeships, co-ops, career awareness events, employer-connected classroom projects, industry-recognized credentials, on-campus internships, and traditional internships. Our working definition does not include study abroad, service learning, or other elements that fall in that bigger umbrella of experiential learning. I want to acknowledge that this work-based learning idea is not new. Student teaching and clinical practicums have long been a part of the curriculum in education, social work, and health fields. Internships are also required in many engineering and business programs. However, there are many disciplines and many students who miss out on this opportunity. You don't need to look too far in the research to see the connection that internships have to that good first job. There is also equally abundant evidence that first generation and low income students, especially those majoring in liberal arts, are less likely to have those internship opportunities than their more privileged peers. There is also evidence that some employers are reducing the numbers of interns they hire due to uncertainty around AI's impact on workflows and productivity. In response, the state system's work-based learning initiative seeks to deliver resume caliber experiences before and perhaps in place of traditional internships. This means putting our effort in building into the academic curriculum rather than building onto the curriculum these career-connected learning opportunities through existing courses, work-study jobs, and first-year experience programming in order to position our students for lifelong success. To support this overall effort at the state system, Pesci Foundation provides centralized project leadership for this initiative and directly funds and supports work-based learning efforts at the 5 universities participating in a pilot that was launched last academic year. These universities are Cheney, Commonwealth, ESU, Shippensburg, and Slippery Rock. Each of those universities has added its own flair to the emphasis that they're making in this area to take advantage of the particular assets they have on their campus and their own leadership priorities. To come alongside that work, Pesci Foundation awards grants to faculty who seek to partner with an employer to embed career-connected learning into an existing course. The scoring rubric that we have is heavily weighted in favor of general education and liberal arts courses because we recognize that those are the places where our students miss out the most. We also weight the rubric to favor 100 level courses over 400 level courses, again, to deliver on our commitment to provide students with career-connected learning early and often in their college journey. To date, over 8,000 students have engaged in work-based learning experiences. 60% of those students are either Pell eligible, first generation, or underrepresented minority. The ultimate goal of this pilot is to develop relationships and expectations and deliver resources and tools that can be replicated and scaled across the state system. Next slide. So in terms of capturing some of our impact over the last year, you might have already caught on that this has been a fun year. We've already seen great outcomes with the work-based learning effort. We have also been very pleased with the response from faculty to the grant opportunities that we're offering around industry-recognized credentials and work-based learning experiences. One new thing we did this year was to bring together a consortium in the Philadelphia area, including the School District of Philadelphia and 3 college access organizations, along with Pesci University admissions representatives. And we were able to work together to get over about 370 students to one of 7 Pesci campuses within a 3-hour radius of Philadelphia. That's one way that we can bring more students into the Pesci community to understand what that campus experience offers to them. We are also collaborating with 2 industry-wide, statewide industry associations, the Pennsylvania Bankers Association and the Hospital and Healthcare Association of Pennsylvania on workforce talent initiatives that benefit Pesci, our students, and their members. So I look forward to sharing more about that soon. Over the past fiscal year, Pesci Foundation will infuse about $4 million into the state system. About half of that goes directly to our students to fill those gaps in funding, and another half goes to the Office of Chancellor and our universities to support strategic initiatives. I want to give a special shout out to Kevin Hensel, who is always a willing partner in getting the good news out. So last time I looked on the Pesci News webpage, if you go to that site, about half of the items on that page related directly or indirectly to foundation-supported initiatives or grants. So thank you, Randy and Kevin, for getting the good word out. Next slide. So what's ahead next year? It's looking to be another fun year. So we will continue the work-based learning effort. That pilot will wrap up this next year. The faculty grant funding will continue. That's well positioned to go for a few more years. A couple of new initiatives that we're excited about. We're bringing together a regional consortium of industry and high school leaders to work with IUP and Penn West teams to create apprenticeship to bachelor's degree pathways in advanced manufacturing. This effort will broaden career opportunities for workers by allowing them to complete a job-relevant bachelor's degree and, as importantly, provide high school students and their families with a map that connects an apprenticeship program they might be considering to a college degree over time. We are also excited about our new collaboration with the Burning Glass Institute. Through this engagement, PASHE's world-class data analytics, led by Natalie Cartwright, are being coupled with Burning Glass's extensive labor market data. This effort provides PASHE leadership with data to align our academic program offerings with current and emerging workforce needs that are hyper-localized to our workforce development areas in Pennsylvania. This will ensure that our graduates are prepared to move into Pennsylvania's good and in-demand jobs. Go ahead, last slide. So I would not be doing my job if I did not use this platform as an opportunity to ask for your support. So, like our university foundations, which many of you know, PASHE Foundation is a separate nonprofit organization governed by an independent board of directors. We are a nonprofit. We rely on donations to pay our collective bills. So I invite you to join us in two important ways. One is through a personal financial contribution. Every year, the Board of Governors receives a very lovely and important letter from Chair Shapira asking you to support the foundation. I appreciate your partnership in those solicitations. Second, you are each very well connected with leaders who have an interest in what the work we are doing at the state system in developing pathways for adult learners as well as early talent to make an impact on Pennsylvania. I'm confident that with your introduction, we can find ways to advance their philanthropic goals with the good work at the state system and to continue it to advance one of Pennsylvania's most important assets. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Shelley, and I join you in your appeal. Doesn't matter what the amount is, but I would love to see 100% participation by the board. So there, now I've said it publicly. Okay. We are now going to take up the Governance and Leadership Committee's recommendations to appoint student trustees and student board members. May I have a motion to approve today's committee actions?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion? These are appointments, remember. Yes, Sina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say a few words about the new board members and also the wonderful peers that I've had for the past 2 years or 1 year. It's been an incredible journey with you, Abby, and Mark Handy. We have done great work representing students. I know the title carries a lot of weight, not for the sake of it being just a title. It carries a lot of weight because of the responsibility that it carries or has within it. And over the past several years, as students, we have been present, but also vocal about what we want as students. And not only have we achieved that goal, but also we have made sure that we are participating in decision-making on the system itself and the sustainability of the system, whether it's university success or student success or other aspects of the policies. Because of that, I thank you both for all your hard work alongside us and the board, and I'm looking forward to the new members who are going to be coming, Brenna and Zade, and I'm looking forward to working with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We are now going to take up the appointment of the next president of Commonwealth.
We just need
University.
all in favor.
Oh, we didn't even got that. Please. Okay, back to the committee action. Sorry about that. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of our new student trustee and governor elections. We appreciate it, and we know you will serve well, and we're very proud of you, all of you. Okay, now we're going to take up the appointment of the next president of Commonwealth University. So the selection of a president is a unique opportunity for the entire campus community and the leadership of the state system to come together to help shape the future of the university. And in accordance with our policy, the Commonwealth Council of Trustees requested authority to first fully consider the candidacy of their interim president, Dr. Jeff Osgood, before deciding whether to undertake a national search. After consulting with board leadership, the chancellor authorized that approach, and the process began on campus with the formation of an inclusive, diverse, and cross-representative search committee. The committee worked together to identify what the university would need in its next president, the leadership skills and traits that align with the future trajectory of Commonwealth University. And that process involved the committee gathering input from students, faculty, staff, alumni, and many other stakeholders. The search committee hosted 25 interview sessions across Bloomsburg, Lock Haven, and Mansfield, where Dr. Osgood spoke with hundreds of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and others. The search committee completed its work and recommended to the Council of Trustees that Dr. Osgood advance as the sole candidate. The council unanimously supported that recommendation and sent Dr. Osgood to the chancellor and to the board for consideration. So now let me please thank the Council of Trustees, chaired by John Wetzel, who I believe is here, although hiding in the corner. There he is. And the Presidential Search Committee, who was chaired by Trustee Angela Smith, for all of their hard work. Earlier this month, the chancellor and the board interviewed Dr. Osgood and concluded that he is indeed the best person to serve as the next president of Commonwealth University. Dr. Osgood has proven that he is a tremendous university leader and absolutely the right leader to take Commonwealth into the future. And so without further ado, I move that the Board of Governors appoints Dr. Jeff Osgood as president of Commonwealth University of Pennsylvania, effective April 17th, 2026, and authorizes the chairwoman and the chancellor to execute the necessary documents. May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
No hands.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Fantastic. The motion carries. Dr. Osgood, congratulations. And I turn it over to you if you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you. Similar to what Chris said earlier, when I first met Secretary Wetzel, who is an amazing chair of the Council of Trustees, I promised him that there would only be 365 days together. And so now here we are, and we're hopefully multiply that by 10 now. So I do want to thank the board, the chair, the chancellor for this opportunity and the tremendous support from the Council of Trustees under the leadership of John Wetzel. And the way that the Commonwealth community has embraced me was just, it is just moving, and the reason why I want to stay, because I think together we can do big things at Commonwealth University. And lastly, I just want to thank Westchester University for 17 wonderful years, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And the only thing I would say is, I don't know why you're limiting yourself 10 years. 120, as my people would say. All right, we are now go to, I'm going to go to the podium at least, to honor the service of a few of our colleagues. This is bittersweet always for me to say goodbye but to thank them for just absolutely incredible service. So I'm going to go to the podium to do that, and I'm going to call first Dr. Rich Furix to join me at the podium. Okay, Rich, hi. All right, I am gonna read this resolution that we have for you. Toya, you have it there, okay? So, Rich, okay, this is for you. I'm gonna let you hold it and read it from here. Whereas Dr. Rich Furix has completed 2 terms as PAC president, ably representing the voice of all trustees across the system during a time of transition. And whereas Dr. Furix is a double alumnus of Millersville University and has served as a member of its Council of Trustees since 2013, providing his unique insights and perspectives. And whereas Dr. Furix has dedicated his life's work to education at every level, having been part of the state system family for more than 60 years, which is unbelievable. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Governors proudly recognizes Dr. Rich Furix for his dedication to the state system and hereby honors his contributions to advancing the cause of public education here in Pennsylvania. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay. Over 60 years. That's really remarkable.
27.
Oh, that's what's truly remarkable. Okay, may I now ask Mark Handy to join me at the podium? Handy, I'm going to let you hold that while I read your proclamation. Whereas Mark Handy Fenor has served as a member of the Board of Governors since 2024 during his time as an undergraduate student at Kutztown University. And whereas in his role, he has provided a student's perspective, offering invaluable insights on critically important board actions and system strategy. And whereas Mark Handy, a political science major, will graduate from Kutztown University in May 2026, well and faithfully completing his service to the board, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Governors proudly recognizes Mark Handy Fenor for his dedication to the state system and hereby honors his contributions to advancing the cause of public higher education in Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mark Handy, so much. And now I'm going to ask Abby to join me at the podium. And I am going to read it. Whereas Abigail Hancox has served as a member of the Board of Governors since 2022 during her time as both an undergraduate and graduate student at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And whereas in her role, Abby provided a student's perspective, offering critically important insights during a time of transformation across the system. And whereas Abby will be awarded master's degrees in both public affairs and student affairs from IUP in May 2026, well and faithfully completing her service to the board, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Governors proudly recognizes Abigail Hancox for her dedication to the state system and hereby honors her contributions to advancing the cause of public higher education in Pennsylvania. Thank you, Abby. Yeah. Good.
Madam Chair, before you close with comments, we'll allow Mark Handy and Abby to offer some closing remarks.
Come back up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board of Governors, Council of Trustees, Presidents. Thank you all for everything that you do here for Pennsylvania's higher education system. Serving as a student governor has been truly a meaningful experience for my life. And I'm not just grateful for the seat of this table, but for the trust placed in me to represent students across the system. Coming into this role, I understand the responsibility, and I didn't fully realize how impactful it was to be part of decisions that shape students' lives in real ways. And that's something I won't take lightly. And throughout my time here, I've learned that leadership is not just about speaking, but about listening, understanding, and showing up with purpose for our students here. I've generally appreciated how this board has made space for the student voice and treated it with respect. And that has meant more to me than I can fully put into words. I'm also thankful for the relationships that I've built here and the guidance that I've received from each board member. Those things will carry on with me far beyond this role as I go into Pennsylvania workforce. As I move forward, I do so with deeper sense with purpose and with a continued commitment to service and shaped in part by this experience. Thank you all for the opportunity. As a first gen ed student from Haiti, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be able to come into this country and to provide as well. So thank you all.
I told Abby our goal is to make her cry before the whole thing is over, so.
Well, Chair Shapiro almost had me there for a minute. But I have prepared a couple of words today because if I have not gotten my thoughts down on paper, you may have had to endure some tears from me, although now I know that that was Randy's goal. As you might imagine, I have been only slightly emotional preparing to leave IUP and in turn the Board of Governors. I want to first start by thanking my mom, who is here with me today. Oh my goodness, here come the tears. She is a proud faculty member of 20 years at Penn West Edinburgh. She is the reason I have been so connected to PASHE my entire life. And she encouraged me to apply to join this board 4 years ago. I want to extend my sincerest gratitude to the members and supporters of this board that I have learned so much from along the way. I was just 19 years old when I joined this board, and I never could have imagined the experiences I would have here. In 4 years on the board, I've had the opportunity to participate in 3 presidential searches. I served as the student member of the search that resulted in the permanent hiring of our Chancellor, and I've worked alongside 4 different fellow student representatives. It is the people that I've met along the way that made this experience what it was. And the best part of it all was knowing that I got to represent the voices of all my fellow PASHE students. And so, despite several convincing attempts by Randy to do otherwise, I am not staying for my PhD yet. And so my time here really is up, and I cannot thank you all enough.
I have to say, we are so blessed as a board. The greatest thing about our enabling legislation was institutionalizing full voting membership on this board for 3 students. It was a really smart move by the founders of this system. And I appreciate it more and more the longer that I have the honor of serving. So thank you. Good luck. I know neither of you need any luck at all. You're making your way. You're going to be enormously successful. And we all look forward to, I don't know, reading about your Nobel Prizes or whatever you're going to get, should we live long enough. Thank you. Okay, to close this out, for the record, the board met in executive session on April 1st from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. And on April 15th from 3:15 to 4:10 p.m. to discuss personnel and contractual matters. Board members, let me ask if there is any other business to come before the board today. Okay, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned, and